So good morning everybody and welcome to Kelly Hall Town in the Lake District. The two trees that you see behind me are the two trees that brought me here this morning. This week I saw a beautiful image incorporating these two trees on Facebook, and it was that made me drive all the way here in the dark to have a go at the town for myself this morning. Now, I didn't copy the image that I saw, that wouldn't be fair. I came to do my own take on it. Did I get the light? You're going to see in a minute. But my camera's set up on the other side and the day's almost done. So this film's a little bit back to front in that respect. So I'm going to put the film on now, let you see what happened, and I'll see you in a minute. So I'm just walking around the lake edge looking for compositions that I've not seen before, and I'm stood at the one that brought me here in the first place, and that's using the tree on the left hand side. I'm not sure yet what it is. It's probably a little common alder or something like that, with it being in the water, and what looks like a Scots pine on the right hand side, and using both these trees, first one as you're leading, the second one as you stop in the background. Really makes for a nice composition, but it's not about doing what other people do. It's more about trying to find your own. And I have to say that composition there is quite exceptional. It ticks all the boxes. But I'm going to walk around the other side and see if I can find anything else. I really would like to get a panoramic this morning. I'm not sure what the light's going to do. It's got promise, it's certainly got promise. We've got another half an hour before that sky starts to pink up, so I just need to find something that I'm happy with. And what I'm thinking is to look back towards the Coniston Fells and utilise this Scots pine. It is a Scots pine actually, I'm under it now. Utilise that on the left hand side or the right hand side of the frame, probably the left actually. So I'll get down there and have a quick look. Just get over this stream. So rather frantically I found a composition that I quite like. I'm not sure if it will be better from the hill just behind the camera there, but from what I can see just here right now, actually looks like it might work. So I've not even got the camera at the bag yet, so I'm going to be quick with this. Got the Scots pine on the left hand side, and we've got the various other trees including silver birches. The little common alder you can't really see from here, but what that does is it leads your eye from the Scots pine on the left there to the beginning of the Coniston Fells just on the right hand side. Got a nice reflection this morning, which is why I'm going to stick with this. The trouble with when you come for the first time, you just haven't got the opportunity to wander around and look for good composition. You just got to grab what you can when you first see it. I've done this before and then regretted it afterwards, but I can't afford to wait, so I'm going to set up here, frame this composition up, and if it looks good through the main camera, then I'm going to stick with it. So as a panoramic stitch, it's looking really quite nice. Got a nice line of trees as I suspected. Just need a light, but try and decide whether I need to put a graduated filter on. The problem I've got is I've got a mirror reflection, and the sky is not that much different to the foreground, and it's trying to predict that for when the sun starts to light the clouds above. It's starting to pink up just a little bit over on the eastern horizon there. I'm probably going to put a 0.3 on, because generally speaking when you get a reflection, the reflected part of the image is generally that little bit darker, so I'm going to take a bit of a gamble and get that on first, and hope that is enough when the time comes to taking the shot. So this is the state of play at the moment. Sunrise was about 15 minutes ago and it's risen into a big thick bank of cloud at the back of me there. So that beautiful reflected light that I was hoping for with the mountains and the trees just isn't going to happen. I still think that the shot on the other side that I looked at earlier on this morning is the nicer shot, but like I said before, it's not about coming and copying what other people have done, it's trying to put your own stamp on a place, and I'd much rather do that, even if it comes at the expense of not getting as nice a shot. I do think that had I had that dawn light this morning, that beautiful pinks, I think this shot would have been lifted and been equally as nice, but as it stands at the moment, it's just not good enough. It needs that extra to lift it. The composition on the other side is very, very strong, and it's not as heavily dependent on the beautiful light. You get all of that together and it really, really works, and that's what happened on the shot that brought me here in the first place. I'm going to put a link to the photographer Ken Walker down below so you can have a look at the shot that he took. In terms of other compositions on this lake, it's quite difficult. I had a look online to see if I could find what other people had done here, and there's not a lot of opportunities. There's a little boulder just on the back side of the bank there, and the reason I didn't go to that is because there's quite a bit of negative space between the boulder and the background details, and that's why I didn't choose that. What I wanted to do this morning, I always wanted to do a panoramic, and the fact that we've got these trees and the hillside, it really does work for that sort of image. The forecast going forward this morning was for bright blue clear skies, and I'm hoping that that will happen. In about another hour we should have the sun high enough in the sky, and with a bit of luck we'll get some light on the Coniston Fells and the trees, so it's just a case of waiting it out and see what happens. So 2.5 hours and the sun is finally out. There's every chance that it'll disappear. There's quite a lot of hazy cloud up there, and it's just sort of stopping the full impact of the sun coming through. So I'm going to grab something while I can. I'm going to start the image and I'm going to talk to you while I'm taking the shot. Having studied here for many a while now, I do consider that this particular shot with the sun up will benefit from an autumn period shot rather than now. What I've noticed is that silver birches in the background do look quite stark, and it would be nice to see them full of autumn colour. Equally, in the background there's some sycamores in a field beyond that they would also add to the image for an autumn shot. I still think that what I came for this morning, which was the pinks reflected in the lake, once I got here I thought that with the shape of the trees and the hills reflected in a perfectly still lake would make for a lovely, lovely shot. So I still think the pre-dawn light visit is worth it, but certainly what I'm taking now with the sun up, I do think that those trees just spoil the shot just that little bit. I'm going to put it on now. Lightroom and Photoshop are wonderful things. Whether I can bring something out of what I've just taken, who knows, we'll see. But nonetheless, I hope you've enjoyed it, you've taken something away from the film. I think for me this morning it's more about the scouts rather than the successful ending shot. I'll certainly be coming back to try and get the 2 shots that I've seen, that I've got in my mind now that I want to get for the future. But as always, leave some comments below, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.